Hi, it's Ian here from Studio. I'm going to just spend a little bit of time talking you through what the requirements are for Year 7 Catch-Up Premium and what it is that you've got to put on your school website. A little bit of detail in here, so we'll try and get into that. I'll show you a few examples as well. It's not massively complicated, but it's one of those things that sometimes pops up as something that people have a few questions about. So this is obviously part of the school website requirements and actually one of the policies that you've got to have in place and then publish on your website. One of the things that maybe causes a little bit of difficulty in producing your catch-up premium spending information is that at the start of an academic year, there's actually a lack of detail around the funding itself. So it's information that isn't necessarily confirmed at that stage. Although the general consensus is that the rate of funding is going to be the same as before. So it's also expected that the funding is going to be delivered at the similar time of year as well. So some schools have already published their information earlier on in the year. So the dates can get a bit muddled. Most important thing is to remember that you've got to go into a little bit of detail, and of course it's only relevant if you have year 7 students. So for primary schools, not relevant. Hope that makes sense. So what is Year 7 Catch-Up Premium? It's designed to further support those students who didn't achieve the national averages or the expected standard in reading and maths at Key Stage 2. So it's roughly worth around £500 per student, and all state students who didn't meet those requirements are eligible for that funding. So then, of course, what you've got to do is then apply that funding to how you help those students catch up, as it were, and then publish that information on your site. And it's slightly different depending on whether you are a state school, a maintained school, or whether you're an academy or a free school. So let's have a little look at this, go into a little bit of the details here. So for maintained schools, you're going to talk about, you've basically got to put a report together. Our recommendation is that you, and you can see that on the Studio tip on the requirements guide, is that you include a table of broken down costs in your report so that the information is a bit easier to read. Really important to always consider those kind of things when you're putting stuff on your site, but don't forget to include explanations of how you have seen or expect that funding to make a difference. So for maintained schools and for academies and free schools, basically you've got to publish information on how much funding you receive for this academic year, how you intend to spend the funding, details of how you spent it last year, and how it made a difference to those students. So it's not massively complicated, but it's something that you've got to get in there. More details of that in the post. Let's just have a quick look at a couple of examples of schools that may be doing that quite well. So this is Burton Burrows School. They like a big banner on this site. They've put a bit of information in there as well, and they've detailed stuff. The information there in terms of specifics or tables, but they've gone into quite a lot of depth at that. Personally, I think that's quite nice. I think what I probably want is that table of information in there as well. Latham High School have taken a different approach, and they're using a feature within our software which is called document groups, which lets you embed content within there. So if, for example, we look at LSA catch-up and intervention report, blah, 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 then you're going to find a load of information in here. And you're going to find all the details of the specific information, and then you're going to look at the impact of the work as well. So that's quite a nice way of doing it. Again, for me personally, that is put in a page on their site that is about pupil premium policies. So that makes sense. For me, I want some more detail around that content. Yeah, so it's great that you've got policy, you've got that information in there, and you've put it in reports. I want to put something that brings the content to life a little bit, maybe just an explanation of what that page is for. Ways the Hills have taken a different approach. Again, they have put a little bit of information where you can kind of get an insight straight away into what they're doing, and then they are using, again, a document group embedded within the file, within the page, so you can see what it is that they are doing. So hopefully that's helpful there as well. Loading quite slowly today, isn't it? So there you go, method, aim, impact. So all the information that they have put together to demonstrate what they're doing with their Year 7 catch-up premium funding. And then one last quick example before we wrap up is Penwitham Priory Academy. And again, I think they've done a really nice job on it because they've gone back quite a lot of years. They've put some information on there that says what this page is about, what the content is for, and then they've gone up and they've gone and put all the details of what it is they're doing on the site with a really nicely structured table that details all the information you need. That's dead easy to follow, and actually it's on one page as well. So for me, that's my favorite because, as I say, there's information that explains what we're doing here, what this is for, and then really nicely, simple, straightforward, succinct, to the point information that tells you exactly what their year 7 catch-up premium was spent on in school. Just to wrap up really quickly then, you'll find all the details on our site of how to reach this requirement in full. If you go to Scudio.com and look for the school website requirements guide, you can download the full guide. And of course, there are blog content on our site that goes into lots of detail on these things as well. That's there. The guide's there, open, freely available to you. If you want to go into real depth so that we explore how to do this in much more detail, look for the school website compliance course, because that will teach you absolutely everything that you need to know. Thanks so much. Get in touch if you need any help.